Right. Huh, let's do this. This automatically opens. Okay. People are joining. Wi-Fi is garbage. We're perfect. We're just where we want to be in this world. All right. Let's just tube. 1 bar of Wi-Fi. Just exactly what we were hoping for. Does it even like show that I'm live on YouTube? Yeah, it does. Oh, I can hear myself through. Okay, no. Does it even like show that I'm live on YouTube? Okay. Now I want to share it. Okay. And I'm going to start rambling now. All right, we're back. Best Buck is back. I am, I guess, not surprised. I guess we knew it was coming, but the fact that it is actually here today was a bit of a surprise. We kind of got, if you're in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, Numi was kind of asking, for some, because it's just what unders can be incorrect. So he was just like, look through everything, check everything over, make sure we can get it all right. There were a number that were incorrect. We got them all fixed to most of them. Now, some of the teams and the players aren't showing up. So, for example, I believe if you look up Dylan Gunther, probably the most relevant player that I can think of off the top of my head, you might find that he isn't listed on Utah yet. That will be changed. Don't worry about that too much. Those are coming in, but you can still search all the players, added players, got all the positions set, and we got right into it. So, yeah, I got into the first couple lobbies, got into the first slow draft as well. Those seem to be rolling. We are looking at a pretty big, let's just share the screen. I pulled up the correct template. It is this one. Let's just get right into everything. No sense in waiting around. I'm not going to go over a lot of data right now. We have a lot of it, but I already retweeted what Spike Week is putting out from Billy Jones, who will be joining me tomorrow. We're going to have Billy Jones and Count MC tomorrow. Mano in the Discord spaces. He is the winner of Zamboni. Billy Jones is over on Spike Week doing NHL content as well as NFL stuff. So I'm going to have both of them jump in. I may have someone later today. I'm still kind of working out if I'm going to be able to stream later. Should be. But let's just go over the contest quickly. This is definitely the iteration I guess I was hoping for. I was optimistic that it would be a bigger total prize pool. That's been more of a let's give out a more 25K to first while still getting enough big money prizes, maybe to entice a few more. 20 getting paid 1,000 at least is pretty nice. I like the structure. I really actually like the payout structure a lot. I was 25K. We get it again. We get a bigger contest. We get a chance to really, I think, have not only the clear-cut number one fantasy contest for hockey in the world by a substantial margin, but I think it'll fill pretty well. I mean, everyone seems to be very in on it. There are some scheduling notes that I do want to kind of discuss. We can obviously look. Payout looks good. Like I said, some positions were changed, and you'll notice that as you're drafting, but many of them very good changes. Now, the one thing a bit discussed, and I do want to mention, and again, this can factor in or not, and I think it's those things that maybe shouldn't as much as you, but week 18, you may notice, goes from the 3rd till the 23rd. That's because of the foreign giant break that we're going to get in the action. That could maybe right before the playoff schedule, there's going to be, 4 nations. That includes, Saros, Hellebuck. We don't have confirmation on Canada yet. I'm sure there's probably a couple obvious-ish guys, but no one that I think is like ultra those games. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to kind of get around. It's not just a weak all-star break that no one cares about. Like, people might actually take this seriously. I'm not sure how serious. Incredibly worried about it, but luckily it's going to be before week 19, which is the start of playoffs. But it is the final week is 3 weeks long leading into it, is what it is. Not much you can do about it. This is better for the league, in my opinion, to do these tournaments that go into a 4 nations and getting ready for the Olympics. So I like it. I'm excited to see it. And even though it might sound stupid to some people, I think all of these soccer tournaments sound stupid. Like, who cares? And everyone cares. The Euros and the other one that Canada played Argentina and that people were freaking out about. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good for the sport. It's good for the game. I'm just gonna hop in. I don't know if it's gonna fill quickly or not, but I'm gonna get drafting. My Wi-Fi looks pretty bad right now, so I'm optimistic that if I close a couple things out, it might get a little better. But definitely comment if it's garbage or if it's good or whatever. I am only going to keep one tab open as well as StreamYard and just hope that it works. It's hard to know because I have no feedback from anyone else in this one, but I just wanted to jump in and do a draft with everyone. All of this is going to be wrong because this is going to be last year for all of the draft caddies, so I might just turn that off. Let's think here. Can I turn it off? Yeah, that should turn it off, I think. That's going to show me my last year's exposures, which honestly isn't that bad to use, but I just don't really want it right now. I'm going to sort, I guess, just by ADP. I've adjusted the rankings just a little bit. So I'll keep it at ADP for now, but I have adjusted the rankings just a touch off the start myself, just to move some guys up. But most players I kind of have in my head, and I have a list of them on my phone that I'm sort of working off of. Now, just a few strategy things. We have waiting for 9. So, I'm guessing there's a draft going right now. And as soon as it ends, everyone's going to join in, but join in if you're here. So a few strategy notes. Again, we're sticking to the 3-7-3-3-3 centers, 7 wingers, 3 defensemen, and 3 goalies. I think a couple of additional high-level notes. Number one, I am definitely trying to get one of the core goaltenders, if you will. That can be debated. The undebatable ones are probably Hellebuck, Saros, Igor, Ilya. Those are probably the 4 that I don't think anyone could even remotely debate. I would throw in Demko easily, probably also undebatable. Ottinger, Georgiev, Vasilevsky. These probably make the unequivocal no-doubters. Bobrovsky, maybe just a tier down with probably with Vasilevsky, honestly, in my opinion, and Skinner. I think these are, this is a pretty unequivocal. I think you want one no matter what. That's the way I'm drafting. I think there's going to be enough people that just don't care about goalie enough and get absolutely, avalanched upon. I'm fine with taking 2. I just did it last draft where Georgiev slipped quite a bit, and I ended up starting Sorokin and Georgiev. I think if you're spending your capital that way and you're saving that last bullet for a goalie later. Wait, my camera. Oh, it is covered, isn't it? We don't even need that banner. I have another one. No one cares. We'll just do which one is it? This one. There we go. It's Saturday in my world right now, so that's better. Anyways, though, yeah, I think this is like, you definitely want to get out of the top. Honestly, as late as you can get them, the better, of course. It's kind of like similar to a quarterback in the situation. It's not stackable though, but like if you have your quarterback, you can take him early, or if you wait, you wait another round, you get your quarterback. It's even better. This isn't to say you need to stack them like you would a quarterback in NFL, but I am absolutely trying to leave with at least one of these goalies, if not 2, especially if I'm down to this sort of, Vasilevsky and below range. And right now, I don't think it's all that much of a struggle to get them. I also think that defense is incredibly deep and very, very wrong after probably the first few defensemen. I have no idea why Uyghur's is high. The first 3, I think, make a good bit of sense. Bouchard, probably right there with Dahlin, if not above him. And Dobson, I think we forget this guy had 70 points last year and was absolutely electric. So I think there's, again, there's a bit, and Quinn Hughes. Let's not forget this guy who won the Norris, had like 90 points. So I do think that there's a couple guys down the line and there's a bit of a tier gap after that, but it's not as big as you might think. Yossi and Makar a tier above the rest. And then the next tier is, like I said, kind of leaving off at maybe the Quinn Hughes category. But then there is just so many guys way down the line, like Werenski, that are right in that same ballpark. Werenski missed 12 games last year, almost had 600 points. To equate that to, again, a guy like Quinn Hughes, who I just said won the Norris, had not even, 89 points is something to scoff at, but A, he played 12 more games, and B, he had his peak season. And I don't think he can, he's going to go digress. I mean, Quinn is a good young player, but just to kind of point out that there's a lot of good defensemen on the line. Winger is definitely deeper. It feels that way. It should feel that way. A lot of these positions, I think, are absolutely correct. You may argue it a little bit, but I don't think there's really anyone that's draftable that I'd argue. Um, the top tier is certainly, ends right here at Nylander probably. And then you kind of get into the maybe a bit of a guessing game. There's some obvious, incredibly high potential, like we've seen with Robertson, that he was a league-winning type of upside player before, down the line quite a bit, as well as your Chris Kreiders, your guys that kind of have continued to just be great, even though they're getting older. Like you want to buy on, Robertson going back. I think obviously over Kreider, I would take him, but I'm just kind of saying there's so much potential down the line here. A lot of good stackable guys. The first real question mark, I mean, honestly, it's probably Stamkos at 17 for me. That just seems a bit too high. I definitely get the ceiling though, so I'm not saying he should be way, way down. I expect him to be down further than this, but again, I think it's a little bit. But I think the first real question mark is definitely Frank Petrano. Just I get how good he was last year. I get the shot rate, but man, that seems a bit aggressive for what he can produce. I guess again, it's kind of one of those guys where maybe I expected him to be a value and he wasn't at all, and frustrating. Obviously, Joe Pavelski is retired, so that as a guy you should avoid at all costs. To try not to auto pick him. Actually, that's honestly a good point to go into your rankings and just get him out of there. I might just do that right now, actually, so I don't accidentally mess that up. Well, you can't really do that easily, can you? Can you just like move a guy? I don't even think you can do that without going through every single position. Whatever. I'm not going to auto pick. So yeah, definitely don't want to take a guy that's not going to play. Kyle Connor, the first standout of holy crap, that guy's too far down as well. Caulfield, a guy that I keep hoping gets to me and just hasn't yet. He should move up a bit. Boldly, another guy that's going to move up pretty quickly over time. And then just all of the young guys, all of the rookies. I'm not going to point out one of them. I'm hoping to draft one of them myself, so I'm not going to point out one of them right now. I will point him out when I hopefully take him, or if someone else snipes him from me. But Cutter, Cutter Gauthier. I just think they took his points from last year in like the one game he played or two games and put it as a projection. I think he only played one game. I mean, the rates were off the chart. For him, and even in that game. So I expect him to be a huge boost next year. I'm going to try to do something quickly. Let me see if I can do it easily. I might tweak for a second, but this isn't even going to work easily, is it? Okay, I'm going to have to unshare my screen and reshare it. We have still waiting on 8 weak sauce. Okay, 1 second. I want the entire screen. Okay. Just going to take a peek at last season. So just a good, I guess, rule of thumb for, some of the questions I've seen so far are like, well, who is this year's this guy from previous years, or who's going to be the guy that, first off, obviously it's very difficult to impossible to predict exactly who's going to, if I had a magic ball, I could tell you exactly who might score 50 goals that no one's drafting. I definitely would do it. But the best way to, I think, try to move the needle forward is looking at guys that produce the most shot volume. Just seems obvious, but you'll definitely notice guys on this list that are going quite a bit later. I'm not factoring out anyone right now, so this should include guys that even played like one game, like Maverick Bork, who is a guy that is going to be potentially relevant in Dallas. We just don't know to what extent. Maybe not quite draftable, but we'll see over time if that changes. But yeah, I mean, this is why the guys like Pasternak and Matthews are in the top 5. Forsberg. A lot of these guys make a lot of sense. But again, as you look at the guys that produce peak volume, and you get into some guys, the question marks like Montour going a good bit later from the point, but I think he'll move up over time. But then Seattle now, where he should get first power play. But this is definitely how I try to find different guys that are way down the list. and just move them up. I mean, Marty Necas is going to move up a lot over time. Obviously, Skinner and Arvidsson are going to move up a lot over time as they go to Edmonton, just bigger roles. So just trying to like figure out which player is way down the line that maybe is in a better position, like I said, with a guy like Jeff Skinner, or a guy that, let's just keep going because this should maybe show some guys that have less games played. Let's look. I mean, Paterka is another one I've drafted both drafts so far. The rates went up immensely over the season as well. And that's something else I might do is just kind of 25 games, the last 25 games of the year, like who really took off at the end. Paterka is a guy that's just on the cusp of being undrafted right now as far as ADP is concerned. And that's not going to last. Barzal's a guy that I pointed out where it's like he's actually in this range with guys like Leon and Bjorkstrand and Sveshnikov and Point as far as shot volume. And it's like, he's a winger now. He is a winger. That's why they moved him to wing. And these are guys you want to jump on. So have we filled even close yet? Still 8 more. Oh my God. Yeah, what is going on? Can people join? Let's go to Twitter. Oh, well. Let's see. We need people to join. Yeah. All right. I guess I won't hide it too much longer. Everyone's commenting on my last draft the same thing because it's certainly, I mean, you can maybe even see his rank here, but Connor Bedard, I mean, he's not actually my 13th player. I just moved him way, way up. Right now, 139 ADP, maybe giving away a little bit of a VV on this draft to let people know that, but that's probably the first guy that's like the most egregious ADP comparatively to where he should be. Boy, we need people to join this. I really was hoping this would. Oh, hi, Eagles. Thanks, Eagles. How's it going, buddy? Comment something. Are you in this lobby? I mean, let's get going here. Where is everyone? 8 more for a NHL. We got people joining. I'm probably only going to do one for now. Let's think. What else can I go over? We got time to kill. Honestly, let's take a peek at. I retweeted it. Let's just go in. I didn't have a ton of time to go too deep into it. I've already seen some of the stuff Billy sent me. A couple things that he was working on. Am I stupid? Did I go right past it? Did I not retweet it? Oh, it's right here. Holy crap! Let's go into it. We got 7 more people. Yep, I already went over the basics. I think most people here probably know it as well, the scoring and whatnot, and why it's so important. But some of the the ADP first best ball points. So I mean, this is kind of I'm not sure if I'm gonna. There's a ton to glean from this exactly as far as if you draft really well at ADP, you're gonna do well. That makes sense to me. Where was the positions? No. I think these are a little bit easier for right now. I mean, obviously, read through it. He definitely discusses it, but this is just another look. I mean, obviously, the percentage of teams that drafted 3 centers, but they definitely did incredibly well. And I think that the 4s are interesting as far as it being close. This is going to be a debate that goes back and forth, I think, for forever. As far as do I go 3 or 4 centers? And I guess my main takeaway and again, this is also showing just the flip that happened from the previous year to this year. But I think the debate on 3 or 4 centers isn't should I start a draft with the mindset of going 3 or 4 centers. It's what fell into my lap that made me make a decision to go with 4 over 3. It's going to be rare, but it will happen. I'm very much sticking with 3 and going with more wingers as again over time it's I think been and you see like in 2022 it advanced way better because it was better and then people caught up and it evened out a little bit more. But taking 7 wings, I think you're probably wrong. I think the debate defensemen over taking centers and 3 defensemen. I think that's more of where I might end up landing. Not is incredibly showing up as being a. I do wonder if you take two really high, if that could be a strategy that could move you forward, just because, and really only in drafts where you're taking one of these in Yossi or Makar. I mean, I don't think there's anyone else that's going to match these two. And if you are weeks, can you afford them not to score before you just absolutely nuke your team with a defenseman that isn't going to get there, right? So that's sort of the debate that I have. It's again, it kind of feels more like going with, pretty recognizable. Well, if you take one of the top tight ends and they're not scoring for you, you're dead anyways, right? So do you want to give yourself another chance, or do you want to try to go with like another? It's an interesting debate. I don't think I'm gonna sway back much from the 3-7-3-3, but that's one that I'm really thinking about. Eagles, yeah, Eagles mentioning the getting the goalie. I am 100% agreeing. Yeah, wingers. I mean, it really is becoming. It's honestly getting so easy to just draw correlations to the NFL. But I think the one that I'm really standing by is that the one thing that doesn't matter anywhere even remotely close to as much is correlation in an NHL is very, very. Uh, it's a luxury. It's kind of like having chocolate. Like having a little bit of chocolate's good. Having a little correlation. Having too much chocolate can be bad. And I think that's what correlation is in this tournament. And you'll see teams that don't know what they're doing just hammering one team when they're eating, they're eating their own food, and it's just not going to help you win this tournament. So again, have a little bit, don't have too much. Probably one of my biggest takeaways from last year to this year. Again, well, the thing is just it's been so obvious to draft 3. 4 is an option. I do. Again, I have taken 4, but that's only if you're missing. And if you're missing right now, I think you're just not smart, because it's so easy to get any of these top goalies that completely jump the chance to get a winning team by not taking one of the top goalies, which is the only scenario where you're taking 4. As time goes on and these goalies, I think, get in the right position, it could become a factor. It could be something, maybe with an injury or 2, and maybe it might end up coming up later on. But as of now, I'm not concerned at all. Again, we can look at the builds that came through on this as well. But definitely, I retweeted it. Go to this article, read all the analysis. A lot of stuff that I've gone over a bit, but even more in depth and a lot nicer. And I mean, these spike week colors are just beautiful. Just award-winning stuff. He obviously has way more skill than than I have at building out some of these things. Still waiting on 5, so jump on in if you're not. Let me see. Did he go over correlation really? I don't think so. This chart was interesting though. The advance rate ADP. This is 20. Yeah. Wait a minute. This has to be the previous year. This is. Oh yeah, it is. I'm like, wait, Carlson absolutely wasn't. But yeah, I mean, again, the year of Erik Karlsson in 2022, 2023. Tage Thompson, absolute, just smash fest. And then the following year, it was the Forsberg show. And Nylander too. I guess we almost forgot to mention him as much as we did in our last show, me and Matt. But holy crap, was he useful? Whereas guys like Draisaitl, and that's why I think he's going to slip even further down the line. Just didn't quite get there. You have to be guy like Bedard again. I mean, last year I didn't get much of him. He was just going a bit too early. I do think he's going to land in a similar ADP spot and start moving up. The question is Connor Bedard going to be that 28th to 35th pick that takes the jump this year or next year? Because if it's this year and you buy a lot on him, he's going to look up here. I mean, his peak is higher than anyone other outside of probably the top 3 with McDavid, Matthews, and McKinnon. When Bedard gets there, does he get there next year? It's hard to, obviously impossible to know for sure. I'm just going to bet on him and hope, and I'm going to bet on the next year and hope. But these charts I found really interesting just to see sort of like where the mindset was last year on some guys and where they fared. A lot of interesting names. I guess I forgot how bad Burns was. Matt was saying that too, and I was like, he was that bad? I guess Matt can also victory lap his Evan Bouchard is better than Miro Heiskanen take from last year. That worked out well. But I do think, and as well as I've talked to Billy about it, but the edge in hockey is massive. And you will draft teams, and I mean, there's, I don't know, I would say 3 to 4 teams drawing dead immediately in every single lobby. You're just not getting that in football. I mean, I think you're getting, I mean, I don't know. Football might be different just because drawing dead is different. Like they could still win the pool, but like they're not really giving themselves a chance to win it all. But in hockey, I think teams are true drafters are just truly not even close. But definitely a really, really good article. A lot of, I mean, it's a perfect introduction, I think, what he put together here to go over again early goalies, first 8 rounds. It's, I think, I zero. Just you can't do it again. And I'm going. This is again one of the biggest easy takeaways. Um, Early defensemen you can do to an extent in the first 8 rounds. Goalies, I think, absolutely not. Wingers, again, absolutely not. It's the same. Like you see people drafting no wide receivers in the first 5 rounds. It's just like you're dead. You're never catching up. There's just not enough points down the line at wing that you're going to catch up. Let's just try to go outside of it. And again, some of these guys in the top 8 rounds are going to jump even higher, but you're down to getting a guy like Trevor Moore as your first guy in, who was very good last year and could get a bigger role. Maybe you're never ever catching your Kaprizovs of the world. It's just not even going to be that close. And that's like a peak season from one of these guys. So you're going to have to bet on, you're going to have to absolutely hit the nuts if you don't draft even 3 wingers by the time you're looking at guys like Trevor Moore. I think you're never getting there. You're not getting enough peak week performance in the playoffs that are going to keep moving you on. So yeah, still waiting on 4. My God, I picked the worst time to start. Where is everyone? Let's see. Let's take a peek. Yes, some people are trying their best to help me, but we are just not. Where we got 3 more. Come on. Why is this? I mean, they were flying off the shelves to get going. I mean, are people already going back to football? The miserable, miserable sport that is not fun to draft. I mean, that's the problem with football drafting comparatively to hockey is if you get screwed in football by idiot drafters, it just ruins your entire team. In hockey, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Like if someone's stupid and they take, it's not even stupid. That's the thing is like, this doesn't matter. Like you don't need this ultra correlated perfect situation with, whatever. It doesn't matter. I haven't looked at playoff schedules yet either. That's going to be something to do. I'm just week 19. I mean, every team is going to have to be coming back from a break. Like everyone's going to play a ton. So I assume it's not going to matter much, but I'm sure someone's already working on it. I may take a look. If not, 3 more. Oh my God. Come on. What else can I discuss? Matt had a lot of takeaways. I don't know if I can get into too many of them before we get started here. I know one of his main ones was the correlation. I know he was very adamant that it doesn't matter that much to you. Like I think chalk. I know it sounds almost like a freaking second grade teacher. Truly is a good analogy of like just have a little bit. Like do not get carried away, or it could cause a problem. You do not need to complete a 3 or 4 stack correlated. You get Kaprizov. You're feeling good. If you want to grab Joel Eriksson Ek, you want to grab Boldly, okay. Do not go any further. Stop there. And every team can be a little different. I mean, obviously that is potentially an ultra correlated, incredibly high ceiling stack, while others are not as much. It's like up towards the top might be tough, but let's down the line a little bit. Yeah, like Jason Robertson, right? You get maybe some value on Jason Robertson and think, okay, Who do I want to go with now? Well, maybe Rube Hint, but think about that three lines that run in Dallas. Think about kind of what you're, the needle you're trying to thread there when you go one step further is already a question mark. No Pavelski, we really don't know what it's going to look like. So I think, again, like there's every team should be taking a little bit of difference. A team like Dallas, I'm looking at 2. Miro goes with everyone. Miro's super cheap. How many teams? Yeah. So I'm 2 in. And I started on a slow. I did the first 2 lobbies and then I got ready for this. And it's eventually going to fill. I'm sure eventually it'll fill. But first, maybe we can take a peek at those. That'll be fun. Completed. 2. So team 1, I'll give team 1. I'll give myself a little bit of maybe I messed up a little. I want to see the whole. No, I just want to see my team. All right, whatever. We'll look at it like this. I took the value on Barkov. I mean, this was a guy that was a potential top 10-ish pick before last year. He was kind of going at the turn. Stutzel as well. 2 guys I'm kind of buying on. One strategy I use in really every sport that I draft is who burned people last year that might still be good. Barkov and Stutzel are absolutely 2 of those guys. I mean, Stutzel was absolutely, and Matt was really, really off of him. The reason he was going high was because, coming off of a great year, signing a big contract, but the correlation to Brady was so strong, and he was a winger last year. So already going to center hurts his value, but not to the extent of 112. So that's an obvious buy with Brady. An ultra correlated mini. I did end up grabbing Sanderson. That felt kind of like a luxury with my last pick in the entire, or both second to last. I mean, it didn't really matter between Arison and Sanderson, but kind of felt like a luxury. I wouldn't go any further than that, trying to project who the third guy in is, but I do think Sanderson could be that top power play guy. He had good rates at times. I think that could continue. So no problem at all with that stack. Again, another very small stack, but Busnevich and Kyrou. No need to go with a third there. Kind of just hoping they stay tethered together and hit the peak together is the goal there. So no issue. Didn't have to stack Barkov or Lindholm. Again, stacking Barkov with Reinhart, a bit of a luxury. Reinhart went a little bit earlier than I kind of expected. Maybe not much. This, Gensel, Reinhart, Robertson range makes sense. But whatever. Didn't get him. I don't mind that. But, after that, I don't know who you go with. Maybe Gustav Forsling if you feel like you have something. But we don't really know that power play as far as the defenseman on it is going to be. Elias Lindholm, another guy. I mean, I don't care. Like, he's not the 136th best player in fantasy, and he's a lot better than that and in a lot better position. I'd love to stack him with Pasternak if possible, but I'm not gonna, whatever. If I didn't get him, but I have him ranked well higher than that, I'm just gonna take him. Wingers, I'm, last year Panarin was easily my biggest miss. I don't blame myself for it. I think that just whatever. I mean, he wasn't shooting at all, and he was going way too early last year. And then this year, he shot the absolute lights out of the puck. I mean, I pulled it up in his rates were right here. So McKinnon, Jack Hughes, Panarin, Kucherov, Kaprizov. I just don't see where he reverts back to being worse than that. But it could happen. I mean, I guess whatever. But I think this is just the new Panarin we're dealing with. And to me, that is a 16 to 18, 20 range pick. Kyle Connor is going to be a massive riser very quickly. Missed time last year, but rates are to the moon. Peterka should not be an ADP player. Again, I already went over why. Yegor Sharangovich, believe he was the second player from Belarus to hit 30 goals. Again, the role is so big there. He's going to see exposure to good players, and the team is bad, but who cares? I mean, the role is going to be massive. The miss, I feel like I didn't need to go Shea Theodore. I think I kind of got a little overzealous. That defensive core is, my opinion on it was that they lose Martinez, and it's going to be 3 guys that are going to run over 20 minutes a night. Who's the best offensively? I think it's Theodore. They might just give that power play role to Hanifin, though. And I'm not sure how much they're going to roll 2 units with losing March, so kind of losing more offense. he might just 129 is too early. That was a bad pick. I mean, I think he's draftable for sure, but that was too early. And yeah, and goalies, I mean, Swayman is right outside of the upper echelon. And again, he's a buy for me as far as maybe getting into that top echelon right there. The question mark is we've never seen it before, and we've definitely seen goalies where it seems like they have it all. They seems like they can handle the full workload, and they just aren't quite what they were before without a crutch to go along with them. So I think he has it. Definitely think he's there. So I'm going to bet on him, but you can certainly make an argument against him being in the top tier, which he's not in the top tier. He's probably in the second. And then Harrison, it's just, let's just look at the Flyers. Goalies. And okay, now I guess they won't let me do that in here. There's no other goalie. I don't know who it could possibly be. One more draft. Let me get to. I saw some questions. Yeah, I mean, I think they want Wyatt to be a center too bad. That was the debate I had about like they don't really want him taking draws as much, but they don't need to if they put him with Ben. So if they don't have to worry about him not being great at faceoffs, I think they stick with it and they spread the wealth a bit more. That's just kind of my opinion, maybe, but I think they keep him with Ben. Let Ben take certain draws, let him take other draws, and work from there. But it's possible. I just don't see it. And then the final question. I mean, yeah, I'm going to do slows. I'm only in one right now, but I might as well just join another one. I'll probably. Last year, I liked doing some slows and mixing them in, but I don't think it's overly necessary to like get. The only reason that doing slows now makes sense is because of how weird the ADPs are. And the advantage is kind of like getting into the right lobbies. I'm not sure how many people are actually don't know what they're. I mean, look at this. Look at the Red Badge Brigade here. I mean, these drafts are tough to start. It's only people that are serious, and the serious people play hockey because it's the most serious sport. It's the one that matters the most. So you aren't really getting an edge as far as who you're drafting against. Maybe a little bit in the slows, but definitely over time, more and more will come in. More people that want to check it out. We'll go over the second team quick. I'll just keep it on this window. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I got Bedard at a value. 39 is going to be, I think, someone's going to get him in the 50s probably or something of that nature, but eventually he's going to be in the 20s. So getting a big value on him. I'm just going to bet back on Brock Nelson again. No reason not to. They love having him shoot on the power play, whatever. Malkin, surprisingly good last year for fantasy, maybe not in general. Maybe, I mean, he's clearly lost a step, but like, I don't know. I mean, I just put him with Carlson. I think that, we'll just skip winger for now. Went with the Yossi Forsberg, went with the Carlson, Malkin, just easy two correlations. Carlson just really, really getting punished for, in my opinion, not getting to expectation last year. Doesn't mean he won't this year. His rates were really good. His role is definitely there. I mean, I don't know, just like I'm not worried about it. And then I'm going to take a couple stabs at Guzov Forsling. I went over why. I know they picked up Boakfist. That hurts a little bit. Maybe he's not the top power play, but he wasn't last year, and he kind of got there. And the role's only bigger now without OEL and Montour. So minutes are going to be to the moon. The blocks, the shots, it's all there. Even if he's power play too, and honestly, is Boakfist going to start every game? Sign him to a league minimum. I mean, maybe Forsling is going to be the top power play there, and we're talking about a guy that's going to advance at an incredibly high clip. I don't mind buying on the ambiguity, even though it did get hurt a little bit because Boakfist is probably going to start on the power play one. Sorokin and Georgiev, like I said, I 58 just that's not correct. Taking him at 58 every time. I don't care what his ADP is. He is much better. So I get two clear-cut number ones, and I grab Harrison again because he's going to start a million games. Wingers, I definitely took a hit. Only got what? So 1, 2, 3, 2 or 2 maybe actually in the top 8 rounds, which is not enough. But I think right now is a chance because you can still get Svechnikov and Gaudreau and Peterka, guys that I have ranked quite a bit higher. These guys would fit probably around my 8 rounds, 9, 10 round mark. So I think I got, the 6 top 8-ish round players. Plus, I pick up a potential later in the year, maybe even to start the year. Like, let's see. This is one of the best fantasy prospects in Cutter Gauthier that exist. His shot is NHL quality elite, and if he's in the right role, which I think he will be, with players that can help him to produce and getting a good look on the first power play, I mean, it's a guy that definitely has peak potential, especially late in the year. So I love this team. This is definitely going to probably go down as one of my best drafts. Just elite with goaltending, elite with the defense, and I mean, I don't think there's any chance Bedard isn't a massive value. So just comes down to do enough of these wingers get there. Especially Goff needs to be fully healthy. Gaudreau needs to get a boost from Monahan, which I think could happen. Let's see what happens there. But still waiting on one. I really wanted to be done at 5. We're going to do our best. We need one person. Let's see what we got. Yeah. No, I mean, it is funny. Every year I think I've missed on one guy to an extreme measure. And 2 years ago, I faded Georgiev and went with Pavel Francois. Wasn't incredibly punished, but punished pretty bad because Georgiev was the first year in Colorado, was the guy, took over the net completely. Francois gets hurt, and see you later. Last year, I went back on him enough. He was still fine. I mean, he's still good. Just the save percentage was god awful. And I slept on Panarin. So I guess that's the North American bias in me not taking the Russians. That's my bad. But honestly, I just never really believed Georgiev was that good. I think I'm right, and I don't even know if I was really truly wrong 2 years ago. It was just how good Colorado was. And we're getting started, thank God. But yeah, I don't think he's that bad. All right, we get the 3rd overall pick. Let's go. Let's get into it. It's the Red Badge Brigade rides on all red badges, 100% red. You hate and you love to see it. That's all I'm going to say there. I've already given away a few of the nuggets down the line. Let's see how everyone does. And let's get into it here. Matt, as Matt mentioned, has Matthews as his number 1. I truly, and that's kind of shown by that Spike Week article. If you took a look, like McKinnon advanced at an unbelievable clip last year, and I don't think it's an anomaly that last season. Like, this is one of the best teams in the NHL, and he's one of the best players. I don't know if he'll get 50 goals again. I might actually take a look at his under on goals just because if it's around that high 40 mark, I don't honestly think his finishing ability is that, but I do think that it's a top 3 is pretty clear cut. Throw it by ADP. So number 1, here we go. Brett, you got it. I believe in you. He goes McDavid, to no doubter. McKinnon, again, I am honestly just completely indifferent on McKinnon versus Matthews. McDavid, my number 1 without a doubt. I could not. I will be trying to get as clean of a split on the 3 as possible, and that's really just because of who's going to win in the championship. How many teams going to get there? You guys can hear this, but nice. Okay, I'm taking these out. I'm not even listening to anything. We're just trying to keep these started. You're still seeing me. How do I stop it? I think I clicked the button. Okay. If you've ever used StreamYard before, if you want to test your speakers, it sings this really annoying song to you. And that's what just happened when I accidentally tapped the button. Okay, getting back on track. Pasternak, easy 4. Kucherov, easy 5. In my rankings, I'm keeping Leon at 6, but it's pretty close. Kaprizov, Tkachuk, Rantanen. I really don't care between the 3 all that much. That's fine, but Rantanen, I do think again, some of us forget just maybe how good Rantanen was. I know why this is stupid. I'm not in the freaking draft window. Okay. Going to rant. Oh, you can't do it like that. I forget. Why am I not in dark mode? What is going on? Okay. Going to Rantanen. like I still think that he has this potential yet again. I'm definitely buying on it yet again. So I definitely love the pick. I'm fine with it. Like I'm really probably in all capacities in any draft I do. I'm much more of a let me spread my exposures around all of the guys I like. And in the top round, there's really not a guy that I hate or think can't win you a league or can't get you there. So I'm fine with spreading my exposures. A couple guys that maybe I like a little bit more that I'll get a little bit more of over time, but it won't be very much at all. So none of these guys, I think the top 10 is pretty cemented with these exact 10 players though. Then it's kind of a bit of a teardrop after that, after Matt the Chuck. I like Nylander just as much, if not more, maybe more. No issue there at all. Let's see where we keep going here. So JT Miller, Makar with Forsberg. Oh, Yossi went. I guess you could do that. Not maybe not the way I would do it myself. That Yossi Forsberg pairing I got last draft. I'll jump on that here or there for sure. From Brady to who? This is gonna be an interesting lobby because you get all these badges. People are tethered to ADP too much. Maybe they might be smart enough to stack. I'm in with Drysdale. See, little stacks. There's Panarin. I love it. Obviously, not going to complain. Kucherov. I mean, not going with Stamkos anymore, huh? All right, 2 picks away. I'm not going to say who I'm taking. I'm not even going to queue it up because all of you are in here. Robertson and Eagles. Who did you take first? Oh, yeah, Da Pasta. He goes Reinhardt. I'm going to queue Hellebuck. One more look, though. Yeah. God, this is tough. I'm going to do it, though. I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss on goalie, and I like enough guys. There's, a couple guys in between me here, but I'm not going to miss on Hellebuck. I mean, this is this is the kind of the guy you want to get one of them. I'll just take the number one goalie in the world. I think the shot volume he's going to see. I mean, the wins kind of all comes together. Gensel goes. That was definitely one I'm debating on. He's going to correlate so well with Kucherov and Point. Get him later. Dahlin goes probably. I mean, he's the next defenseman up, but I think it's by a touch early. I mean, I'm going wing next, no matter what. I'm not waiting another round here. You son of a. Okay. Bye, Marner. See ya. Oh, damn. My plan is gone. Who the hell am I going to take? Well, man. I mean, I really don't want to take Stamkos. I don't even know. This is tough. All right, I'm going to be a man. I'm going to take Kyle Connor. I'm not taking Stamkos. I don't care. Give me Kyle Connor. I think he's. Let me just. I think I typed. Yep, I typed it wrong. Kyle Connor. How many games did he play last year? That's really the question I'm thinking about. Sure, go to hockey database. 65 games, 61 points, 34 goals. I mean, he has missed so much time. I just think we're going to get back to this Kyle Connor from a couple years ago. There is going to be pulling up Winnipeg, right? I mean, they keep Ehlers most likely. Velarde, but this team is really hurting for elite offensive line. I mean, he is going to get so much run with top guy. I think it is just Shifley, Connor, Velarde, and they're gonna feast. I mean, Connor just his ADP is one of the worst at 75. Not the worst. I've gone over the worst, but one of the worst. So yeah, we have both Bretts here. This is great. I feel like almost everyone in this draft is here, which is funny. So we're gonna be going to 31 for Stamkos seems like the right spot. I think honestly that's about where it's just hard to know. Like it's gonna be. I mean, Forsberg and Stamkos on opposite sides, opposite lines. I do think they got Stamkos to take more shots on the power play. I wonder if it hurts Forsberg a little bit, but man, it is such an interesting thing what Nashville did. Um, Kucherov, Point, Robertson, interesting. We like the start. Pedersen, yeah, I mean Pedersen. This is a great value. This is one of Matt's boys. I like him as well. I do think that people are going to be low on him after the playoffs, but at what cost? You know, is he going to get right back to form? If so, this is one of the best players in the world, especially in fantasy, where I think he should excel next year, especially with a lot more volume. Ovi finally goes. Yeah, I think the days of 50 for Ovi are gone, but it's a guy that had way better production, expected production than reality. And I don't think it's because he's dropped off that much. So I think it's a fine buy for sure. I just don't think we're going to get top 10, top 15, top 20 production out of him anymore. 36 is an okay range. Again, I think that's really fair. And you will notice right now, especially that centers are just way up towards the top in all these really projections. I don't know, not my projections. Goaltending definitely starting to thin out. 6 picks still I'm up again. A number of teams here that are still awaiting on their top guy, but there's, like I said, at least 3, 2 that I have a little bit of a tier above, and then a couple more that are just right there and are kind of like your absolute unequivocal elites. Then you're probably right there, could be unequivocal elites, and then you're, probably not, but could be. And then it drops off after that, right? I don't think the distinction is so massive that you couldn't get there. As far as like what you're giving up, as far as the bucket of goaltending, like it is it enough as far as giving up, but my concern was none of them getting back to me. And there goes Ottinger. There's still one more guy here that hasn't taken one. That's my concern. Now, I think there's one goalie left in that top tier, in that up the top-ish top tier. Bedard at 43, already someone getting him after I have. Let's get back here. Keller goes. I'm almost definitely taking Cole Caulfield here. I think that's my next guy. So Caulfield for me. I mean, he almost had 700 points. He needed to have 30 goals, and I think he's going to be there very quickly. So I love this start. Buck down there as well. There goes Eriksson Ek, another guy I love, but maybe not quite at the price that he's going. Yeah, Boldly was probably my next winger. Go Timo. Like, I feel like it's tough here. It's like Timo, Kyrou. I'm taking Kyrou, I think, in both drafts. I'm going to go Kyrou again. I think he should be a class higher than he is with his rates and role and that team. I do think that last year was a bit of a down year for what he can be. Sticking with Robert Thomas, hopefully the entire season, a new coach for the entire season. I don't think it helped them much kind of going through that transition in season as I'm kind of getting to over and over again. So I'm optimistic, I guess, that Kyrou can get back to 35, 40 goal type stuff. And that's a buy I'm going to make. But there's a number of guys in this category that I'm interested in buying on. And the Devils they're just deep. They're just deep at, Bratt, Timo, Hughes, Heishier, Mercer coming up the ranks. It's like, what does that first power play look like? And we saw it go away from Timo last year. Obviously, brand new coach came in late in the year. What is it going to be? But and yeah, I mean, this is the point though. Timo looked better at the end of the year, right? They get a new coach, and I made the point of this. Like when the Sabres signed Ruff, it was like you did not get the most out of Timo at all. And as soon as you leave, Timo became one of the top fantasy producers. Is that going to continue is the question. I think he's a fine buy, but I don't think his ADP is miles off in any way. Like it's just I definitely have him above DeBrincat and certainly Pavelski. What other questions I get? Yeah, no, I mean it's like Nashville got a lot more fun. That again, the debate is so hard with them. It's like they added more of the exact same thing. They already had it in Forsberg. They had two more, kind of the exact same thing. I don't know. They're going to be fun. They got better, I'd say. And is like more goals just mean more goal. Like, are they going to be the top scoring team outside of probably like Edmonton? Maybe, right? And like, why not get pieces of that? Just feels like they're going a little high. And then Michael Mann, perfect. This is kind of like I showed in my last draft. It's like I didn't draft a lot of wingers early. There's just so much value, and there's guys that I'm seeing going undrafted that I just can't believe. But it's like I have so many options. I'm missing a couple guys that I'm just like, crap. Like I have 4 guys I love here. I guess I'm not taking this one who I cannot believe isn't getting drafted. It's crazy. So, I mean, the Nashville defense thing, I don't know if I agree with it completely. I mean, offensive, their forwards are bad, but their defenses, I mean, Shea can defend. Lauzon, whatever. I mean, he's going to hit people. Carrier is actually good. I mean, O'Reilly is still a good defensive forward. After that, though, they're probably going to give up a lot of goals and attempts. But the games that Saros is on, boy, he is going to score in an unbelievable fashion, and that's going to have to be the saving grace. Because like if the week that Saros carries Nashville to 3 wins, he's going to carry your best ball team to monster scores. So they're going to be one of those teams that I love to watch. When they play Edmonton, it's going to be must-see TV. Yep. Okay. So I was going to kind of hopefully hide the fact that Tage Thompson was still there and I was just going to take him, but alas, Tage goes. So take a look at win quick. Boy, getting a little sparse. Let's see what happens. Well, Dobson was going to be my pick, but that goes. And Quinn Hughes was going to be my pick, and that goes. Do I really want to jump on Morrissey? I don't know. What does goalie look like? I might just default to Boost Navich. I think I'm going to have to. Yeah, there's just nothing I like enough. Damn, that was the 3 guys I wanted were all there. And I mean, DeBrincat maybe too, but man, all of them go. That is tough. That is tough. What can one do? You move on. Let's see. We got back-to-back here. No goalie. And then obviously the GA just took Binnington. So, well, there goes Olmark. Don't mind it at all. There goes Tavares. Kind of doubt we get another goalie here. So I think that the last guy probably in the best tier is Stuart Skinner. I wasn't going to take more, so you can have him. I can wait on defense. I think that the last guy in this next tier is Stuart Skinner. I know maybe the playoffs weren't everything you wanted him more, but he was actually really, really good all year. So I'm going to grab my 2 elite goalies in Skinner and Hellebuck. I think getting that value on Skinner is pretty nice. Again, I don't think there's anyone else that I'm honestly, the next guy is Markstrom. That is probably, and I think he's just a step below a guy like Stuart Skinner. And Markstrom isn't in maybe a class all by himself, but there isn't a ton either. Like Jari's below him for sure. Markstrom kind of seems like a bit of a bigger question mark where it's like Jake Allen is good. Like he's always been pretty good anywhere he's been. That's a backup that I do worry steals enough starts. I am not worried about Edmonton going to. Yeah. It wasn't important. Sorry about that. Got to knock at the old door. What the hell is she asking for? What? All right. I'm going to be right back. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to mute. Okay. Dinner problems. Okay. Shut the door. We're back. Let's see who was taken while I was gone. Okay. Markstrom, Jari. Okay, yeah. Did Marchand go correlated or no? You don't have to, but okay. Just wondering. McCann. I mean, Seattle in general. I think I might do a bit on them. Like, I think that they absolutely are going to be. I mean, they're tough to nail, and like that's why McCann is like the easy guy. But there's going to be at least a couple very big scores on this team. I mean, Bjorkstrand's easy to click on. Tolvanen a bit tougher to know that role's going to be there. I mean, they kind of seem like they gave up on him a bit. I don't think there's a problem looking at a Burakovsky or a Jaden Schwartz a little bit, just the hope. But man, there's got to. I mean, the Seattle team is just going to score more goals. I just don't know who it's going to be. Tough to nail down. Well, there goes Dougie. So I am still struggling to get my elite defender that I'd like. It's not undoable though. We're not dead. I mean, like, okay. Oh, there goes Adam Fox. Congratulations on your wedding, by the way. I was just going to take a peek at him, and someone took him anyways. I'm not sure if I was going to take him or not. Rates aren't great, but 86 is a good buy, I think, for a guy like him. Yeah, no, I mean, the problem with, hold on, let me see here. What we get? More young wingers to seem a chance to break out. Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, they're completely missing all the young wingers. I mean, they have, I showed it. Cutter Gauthier is projected 7 points on the season. He's going to have that game 1. And yeah, I mean, Stephenson he's just not, like, there's just so many centers that are going to get more points than him. Like, if he was a winger, I definitely would consider it, but the guy didn't have 100 shots on goal last year. Like, I just can't see him getting there at center comparatively to others. Like, there's just so many better buys, but I do think he'll be good. I just don't think he's going to win you anything in fantasy. Okay, we're at the 8 turn again. The 8 turn's a good judgment of where you're at, and I do think not having a single defenseman at this point for me is a little bit tenuous. It's not the end of the world, though. I'm just not taking I mean, whatever. I'm not taking a goalie at this point. I have my 2 elites. There's no way I'm investing more capital in it right now. So, yeah, this is an interesting spot. I think I know what I'm going to do here, but let's not telegraph anything, even though I haven't telegraphed much of what I was going to do, and it just hasn't mattered at all. Everyone's just jumped all over everything I've wanted. So we're going to cue Carlson of the Eric variety. I just don't think I like Morgan Riley and definitely not more than Carlson. So let's do that. Let's do that first. There goes Hagel. So yeah, I mean, I think Eric Carlson, he should move up into the 90s. I don't get it. It's the top power. I mean, if you're concerned about Chris Letang, I think that you've gone a little bit off the rails. Like, he can still play, but like this guy, I wouldn't be. I mean, he's very nearing retirement. A lot of health concerns. He's going to probably miss time because of it. And Eric Carlson, I still think absolutely has it. Slavkovsky's been a guy that just continues to go earlier and earlier. I could have gone with it here, a good correlated piece. You don't mind getting one of them, but I'm not going to judge the crowd. Where is he? Okay. I'm going to take Zach Werenski here. I mean, again, you're kind of jumping way ahead to make sure you get a guy, but just clearly is not the 156th best player in this vacuum. I didn't have a defenseman going into round 8. I grabbed 2 with massive upside, getting out of round 9 before pick 100, and I absolutely love it. So I like this build, this 1-4-2-2, with maybe needing a lot of help at wing still, but as we've already mentioned and people are mentioning, like, there are wingers to be had down the line. I'm not that nervous about getting 7 very good wingers, and there's a couple I have my eye on. So far in this draft, again, because I have Matthews, I'm really not that worried about center. I definitely want to get 2 more, but I'm not going to be jumping way ahead to get it. just because if Matthews isn't scoring most weeks, it means he's hurt. Only one center scores. So if he is bad and I needed other centers, well, not good. But you certainly want to have other options, especially for the playoffs for a team that, Toronto doesn't play as many games as maybe you need in the finals week. Definitely good to have a couple other options to fill in and maybe hit a peak that isn't as highly owned, because again, if Matthews gets there and is in my finals team, a lot of people are going to have Matthews. So maybe getting another center that could hit that flex spot is still valuable, but I don't think you're investing one of your premium assets when you really are going to be behind people that have Pastrnak, Kucherov, etc. at the wing position. I think Kyle Connor could get to that level, which is why I'm going with him, because I need to buy on that upside. Cole Caulfield, I need to buy on that upside. A guy that didn't even have 30 goals last year. If he does get 35, he's going to be up at that level. So I definitely am buying on guys that I think have the elite finishing ability alongside, which is, I think, Connor without a doubt. I believe Caulfield's getting there, and I hope Kyrie returns. So that's sort of the strategy behind these maybe more specific wingers, but they're guys I'm going to be buying on throughout every draft, because again, even if I had a Pastrnak and I'm getting like, well, how do you outscore Pastrnak? Really, it's because you hit that peak finishing ability. So yeah, Ehlers goes. That's a guy that I was kind of thinking about, but I think this is the right range. We're going to go back to the Ehlers well, and we're going to get burned again. I'm going to. Everyone's going to. Everyone's going to see the 5-on-5 production, see a power play role potentially there, and jump back on it. And we're all going to sync with it. It's going to be fun. So we're getting into later and later in the draft. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw someone take Svechnikov. Let's just look at the board quick. It was earlier than I thought he'd go, but it wasn't. Yeah, 82. I think that's about right, but good. Got to jump the line on some guys right now, because we're projecting where they're going to end up, not where they are. And I think, again, it's like, where is Werenski going to end up? I think he definitely within a few weeks is in the top 100. He's going to quickly move up the ranks just with the upside. And a team that, for everything you could say against the Blue Jackets, they're going to try. And they're going to try with really their only elite offensive weapon on defense at this point. So he'll be getting quite a bit of run. Any hot takes on Thompson? Honestly, this is the Thompson, one of the most interesting situations, because I love them both, and I was, again, like Logan Thompson gets traded over, I was like, oh crap, that's going to be such a good buy. And then I just was like, Lindgren carried this team into and through, I just into the playoffs, not through anything. They lost in easy fashion, but man, I think it's a pretty big split there. And yeah, I think I'm going to just stay out of the mix. So I'm going to start with Johnny Gaudreau here to correlate with Werenski. Again, not a lot I got to say about that. Pretty easy here for me to just grab probably my top winger. Pretty close, actually, but I'm just going to grab him. It's close between a couple guys, but I'm going to grab Gaudreau, and not going to overthink it. That's a great little correlation. Again, just a little bit. Still just a little bit of correlation here, a little bit of correlation here. That's what I'm all about. Getting a couple, 3-2 stacks. I love that, right? Don't overindulge, because as soon as you get to that fifth guy on freaking Dallas, it's when you've taken your team from any chance to zero. So still so many elite upside players. And I think I have a couple guys in mind here that I'm probably gonna grab. So we'll stay tuned. Zuccarello goes. I believe he took Eriksson Ek, so makes sense to. It could happen. That's not the correlation I think will happen, but there's no reason why it couldn't. There's 4 kind of top end guys there. So we'll see. Minnesota's interesting for sure. I'm buying on them again. Last year I kind of bought on them as like a potential playoff team, and they kind of fell apart on us, but I am going to be back on the Minnesota well. I think there's more fun there than maybe meets the eye, and it all comes through Kaprizov. So who's Kaprizov with? So Montembeault goes. I'm going to grab Jeff Skinner. Sorry to our Edmonton drafters, but this guy has 40 goal potential. He also has complete dud potential, but I think this is the right team to take him on. The 120 range is good range for Jeff Skinner to go in. If he's up with McDavid, which is where I project him to be, it's pretty easy. So I get to a 1.622, pretty easy here. I love every player on this team. And there's still just a ton of centers that I still like to pick through. And then I'm going to grab just one more high end, you probably younger winger at this point. But yeah, Jeff Skinner is going to be moved up into that range. Another guy I talked about, Jake DeBrusk, I think he moves up into this range as well. Just tough to know where he's going to correlate exactly. And then we see the goalie that went the other way. And I think this is the good way of doing it, like a Swayman, Jari, Kemper, getting yourself a ton of starts, albeit two teams that, Pittsburgh might not be a playoff team. LA probably is right there on the cusp again, should be, hopefully. But you're getting yourself quite a few starts with these three. So I definitely am fine with that. And I think that's a good buy a goalie maybe now in the 11th round type of team rather than waiting too long and then, trying to hit a moonshot. Schmaltz. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, Utah's a fine buy. Lafreniere, definitely going too late. I mean, that was like, not to toot my own horn too much. I know there's plenty of people on Lafreniere now, but last year I was like, I will take him 100% of the time in round 16. He will be 100% owned by me. And eventually, of course, he moved up as he should have. And as he proved this year, he's more of an 11th or 12th round guy. And it's fine. I mean, buying him again, it's not like you're buying on a guy that's 30. He's like 23. So a great buy yet again. Sergachev, not going to be getting value on him forever. Buying on him where he's going. He should be more of an 11th, 12th round guy. So everything makes sense. Billy Jones, welcome to the chat. We're just having the most fun with the most fun sport, going through everyone's team. It's a 100% red badge brigade out here. Everyone drafting the optimal builds, the best plays. I haven't seen anyone go off the reservation yet. There's a couple teams that were wavering on it, but no one's gone completely insane. I mean, taking Jeff Skinner like I did over Mark Stone, that's pretty obvious, of course. But Billy will be with us tomorrow around, we're going to start around 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm sure it'll be pretty much right on time, and we'll be ripping. Top center in Utah. I mean, I'm up in 5. Man, none of these guys. Like maybe, I don't think I'm buying any of them, honestly. Like, it'll probably be, honestly, Schmaltz that plays it. He's more of a winger, though, so I agree with the position. I think they probably put Hayton or Cooley there, but I think it's probably Hayton, and I just don't think you're buying on Hayton anymore. It's probably Hayton. Boy. I don't just, again, it just seems unnecessary. Like, it's not like NFL where it's like, well, like, even if the team's that bad, who's their number one guy at this position that should be relevant? Like, there's plenty of teams that don't have an elite number one center, and just none of them are going to be relevant in this format. So, I think they go back to Hayton, but whatever. Forsling goes there. Goes Lindholm as well. Someone took what's his name from me. I'm probably grabbing Nugent Hopkins here. Not even because of the correlation at all, really. Just I think he's clearly the best remaining center. I'm going to do that. That just seems like we've gone a little too far at 142 on that guy. So I'm going to grab the Nuge. Center definitely kind of died on us. Well, on me. I was really hoping to get one more guy to get back to me, but didn't work out that way. What do we have at goalie? Yeah, goalie's pretty dead. Are there any of my favorite defensemen left? A couple guys, but I think I'm just going to take my last center unless if GA takes him from me. And 0. Okay. Yep, give me. I'm going to take Malkin. Just correlate Malkin. This guy he wasn't great last year. Let's not get carried away, but I do think there's still enough on Evgeny Malkin that he can be a 600-point player on a Pittsburgh team that absolutely needs him to be very good. There goes Cutter. But I'm going to round out center. 3 more picks for me. But yeah, Matthews, Nugent Hopkins, Malkin. I didn't need a lot from center, but as you can see, center is very well picked over. Not much of anyone. I mean, I would say that a couple guys I'm looking at. Number one, way down the line is Mason McTavish. That was one that I've kind of circled that I'm going to go back on. Tough to know in Anaheim kind of what happened with his where he is, but I still think you can't take Peterka from me. You know this. That's my guy. But yeah, that's a guy way down the line. And then did someone take Suzuki? That was the other. Yeah, someone took his. Oh my God, he's ADP 71. I guess that makes sense. He was really good last year. Oh my God, why am I blanking right now? Center. There's one more center way down the line that I was like, oh, Fantilli. Like this team, I don't think I want to add a third Columbus Blue Jacket. I think if you have 2, that's a good number of Blue Jackets. You don't want to add 3, but this is a guy that does have incredible ceiling and just kind of completely forgotten about. And let's think about what happened to Adam Fantilli that did this. Let's start with number one. How many games did he play again? Like 50 something, I think. I don't even think he hit 49. I don't even think he hit 50. That's what I was going to say. So he didn't play. Actually, let's just add the math then. Let's just do this quickly. We'll just take a second. Let's just give an 82 game from this. So 296.5 divided by 49 times 82. That's just under 500 at 496 points would be like the equivalent of an 82 game season, right? So not fantastic, not terrible, terrible team, bad situation. The coach there, I mean, Vinny Prospel, you almost feel bad for the guy because it seemed like it was like, you're going to be the guy that we're having here for 1 year and we want you to just punish players and be the bad guy. And Fantilli definitely found that camp many times, but the shot volume was really good. I think this is a guy that I definitely considering at the end of drafts. I mean, Cousins getting back on track. There's a few guys for sure that are draftable, but I don't know if any of them quite touch Malkin when we know the roles there. Let's see. I mean, I'm not buying on either Natushkin or Landis. I'm going to buy 0% until I hear otherwise. Landeskog, I have very little faith that plays a full season or enough run to be relevant. And Natushkin is just why buy him now? I don't know. I mean, I just personally don't think it's necessary. Yeah, I would definitely do a 15-second clock. I'm really hopeful they open up another contest. I love the $15. I think it's way better spread, but I get it that some people don't, and I hope they add a $5 at least. All right, final couple picks. Yeah, Utah goalie is also interesting between Vijmelka and Ingram. They're both getting drafted right now. It's interesting. I'm going to be kind of on that a little bit, trying to figure out where that ends up. Strom, Cousins. Yep. Someone took Gunther. Well, I'm almost definitely going to take Igor here. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. Yeah, I mean, again, I mentioned it before. The first 30 goal scorer from Belarus in like a million years. The rates are fantastic. I think he's only up from here. Going to see even more run. I think they more solidify a top power play that's going to funnel through him. End of the year, he was shooting the lights out of the puck. Again, I think all of that's going to kind of come together for him to be, a very good buy late in drafts. Blake Coleman honestly wasn't bad either, but like we saw the peak with him and we see a decline maybe. Like other guys could come up. So I'm going to be buying a little bit more on Sharon Govich. Michkov goes fine with him too, for sure, in this range. I'm not really too worried about anyone taking a goalie. So I might just grab Harrison right now and then wait on D. Again, just the reason why we open flyers and we say, who is their starting goalie? Carter Hart's probably gone for good. I just don't think he comes back. And then Fedotov, I mean, Harrison should see so much run. Maybe they pick up someone that can get some starts. But I'm just going to be buying on Samuel Harrison. I think this kind of feels like Jordan Binnington last year on a team that really completely squandered the playoff chance. It just fits well with a Hellebuck, Stuart Skinner, right? I mean, the two elite guys. Who's going to fit in? It's got to be a guy that sees a ton of net. So, yeah, I'm going to buy one more pick, and then I'm definitely going to jump right out. I said I'd be done at 5, which is why I kind of got a knock at the door of like, hey, need some help here. But the draft didn't start for 45 minutes. Someone believes Landeskog will be back. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, what do we even get if Landeskog's back out of him, though? You know, he hasn't played in like 2.5 years. I just like, what injury does that to you that doesn't completely finish you off? Like, I struggle. I really struggle to see where he's going to be a factor at 32 during the season back in it. Fedotov signed it. That doesn't sound right at all. Fedotov contract. Like maybe the total dollar, but Cat Friendly's dead. Yeah, 2 years. I don't know. Fedotov's going to see some run, but like that's a pretty big. Yeah, I guess they have a backup, but I mean the guy had one game where he got absolutely shellacked. I don't know. Yeah. Everyone needs to figure out goalie every year. It's the worst position. Yeah, they gave him, so the total of 6.5 mil over 2 years. He's a massive goalie. They definitely need him to be useful enough, but I don't know. I mean, what does that even look like, right? I think I'm gonna just be on Harrison for now. But again, it's kind of the same other bet that I like is Dostal, which is like, well, what about Gibson, right? And it's like, got to bet on someone to steal the net for a decent team. Same with Toronto. I mean, Toronto is another great example where someone took Stolarz. Is Stolarz the starter? Is Wool the starter? They're both going to be drafted, and they both should be. There's a lot of buys that you're just going to have to guess on. Another one that I really like that I've been kind of queuing up and never taking is did someone take him? It's Persois. Someone took him. That's why he's not here. Laurent Persois, I think, is a starter in Chicago. Easy. Zach, I mean, am I easily going to know who you are? Are you ZG money? Yeah, it's got to be. Is it going to immediately get rid of it? Yeah, I'll do a quick review, but I really do have to go after this, and I'm going to plan on jumping back on later tonight to do a couple more drafts. But I'm going to get my last pick in. But I'll do that. But it's going to be impossible to do until we're done. We're just about done here. So 5 more picks. So yeah, I'm definitely taking defense. There are. You need a defenseman too, don't you, Eagles? Picked already. Oh, he didn't take my guy. So yeah, I'm gonna take Shane Gostisbehere. I was about to cue him, and I was like, so Carlson, Werenski, Gostisbehere. Let's go. I love it. Could we get like Anaheim right here? Owen league winner. But Olin, Jesus Christ, I keep wanting to call him Olin. All right, let's finish this up. Go back now. Come on. Number 3. Let's just go to this. So ZG money, the Chuck, Yossi. I mean, yeah, honestly, the 11 turn is tough. I don't mind the Chuck at all at that spot. Like him and Nylander are probably in their own little tier. Yeah, I'd probably go Jack Hughes over Yossi. I don't know. Yossi's fine. Kale McCarr versus Yossi is going to be really, really interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I take Yossi there, honestly. Um, it's close. Eichel, I don't mind that at all. I mean, Winger got pretty cranked and you went back to it. So you get a really nice correlation there. Georgiev, it was time, right? Had to grab a goalie at that point. You got like the last guy in that. Well, Vasilevsky, I'll put with him, but the second to last guy and who I have above Vasilevsky in that range. I'm going to probably be near a 0 on Zibanejad myself. Just unnecessary. I think the only mistake is taking 3 centers that early, and Zibanejad being the main one. I would have absolutely gone with Barzal, Marchessault, or even really to brink it over Zibanejad. I just think we saw the decline. We saw you can't do it at 5-on-5 anymore. And if the power play role dries up because Lafreniere takes it over or whatever, we're not going to be surprised all that soon. So I think I'm going to be near 0 at this range on Zibanejad. Suzuki's fine, but like I didn't want you to take him. I wanted him to flip. I just wouldn't have gone 3 centers that early. Fox makes sense in that build. Like I said, I was going to kind of consider him as well. He's a good pick. Both wingers are great. A lot of upside wingers. Nyquist, absolutely not. Everyone else is fine. Like, yeah, there's just no need to pick Guzov Nyquist. His role is nuked. I don't think I'm touching him. I guess you wanted to get a Nashville guy to mix in, but you don't need to. There's no need to jump on a guy that already doesn't shoot and is now losing his power play 1 role and potentially even the role with Forsberg. Probably not, but I don't think so. It's a fine team, but yeah, I just don't. Like, I think you had Georgiev, you take another winger here over one of these 2, and then, yeah, you probably afford to get yourself one more goalie a little bit earlier than probably the backup in Vegas and definitely the backup in Boston. You just need one more starter. So, I think that kind of snowballed into not getting the second starter you needed. And, yeah, I'm not taking Samsonov. I'm not taking Korpisalo at all. It's not, not dead, but definitely just don't take 3 centers that early. And I think it doesn't snowball from there because you could have gotten one better goalie, and I think that makes a world of difference here. And then someone asked about Bertuzzi, and then I'm going to go, what we got here? Is Bertuzzi, jump samples. Is in general, no. I mean, I think Bertuzzi is clearly the guy with Bedard. The perfect stack with Connor Bedard. Where is he going? Am I blind? Where is Tyler Bertuzzi? There's no way he went undrafted. No, holy crap. Yeah, I feel like that's a guy that I just kind of forgot about, but I'm really, really, really interested in his role. I think he is going to be with Connor Bedard. That makes the most, and you got him with Connor Bedard. Yeah, no, 100%. I thought he went earlier than that. That's a really good buy. Duclair's a really good buy. Quinn is questionable, but Zetterlund's fine as well. Like, multiple wingers can eat, and I guess you went with both of them, but yeah. So, no, overall, really good. Let's close out though, because I'm already way behind on life in general. But yeah, no, this is the reason that Bedard is going to be with. I think honestly it's going to be Teravainen and Bertuzzi. But okay, might jump back on later. This went a little bit longer than I wanted to. Gonna have to go and pay the piper on that. Was supposed to help cook dinner at 5. Anyways, I'll be back. Enjoy. I'll be in the lobbies. And yeah, I'm planning hopefully to jump back on at like 9, and we'll figure that out. But take care and jump in all of the lobbies. I will be in there. We'll talk soon.